Okay. Hi, my name is Dominic Benchley. I'm going to be recording audio over college football gameplay. The movie I chose for the assignment was One King, One Nation. And I will be giving you three accuracies and inaccuracies within the movie, and some smaller inaccuracies that don't really cut, like, dedicating a lot of time to, but still are just important to say. So let's begin. First, we're going to talk about how the film makes it seem like the revolutionaries were mostly united against the monarchy, but in reality, groups like the Girondins, the Montagnards, and Sans-Culottes had different ideas for France. Their conflicts, especially before the Reign of Terror, were much more intense than the movie shows. I'm reading from a script and it is super hard to pronounce what the words are, and I'm very sorry for that. Throughout this, I'm probably gonna do that. But um, throughout France, there were definitely different factions, different just sections of France that were against the monarchy, and the movie doesn't really show that. They don't show the fights that within themselves had for who was right and who should lead France, while we just see the French people, the common folk for one, are just all united against the monarchy, while that is completely wrong. There were so many different views from different poor people and different, like, the middle people, where they're like they did not agree at all, but they still were against the monarchy. One other second inaccuracy I saw was I previously watched a video on women in the French Revolution and how they show women in it, and I believe that the march, when where we see the women marching and they're singing along, that wasn't they didn't show how many people actually died there. There was a lot of death in actual history. A great video that I saw was on the History Channel, where it just in general just showed what women's rights and different historical figures were in the French Revolution. While we don't really see any of them, actually they make up fake um, women rights activists in this to fight for equality. That was one of the, like, I'm gonna say we dedicated 30 minutes of the entire movie just talking about equality with women and men throughout it, which was also, I think, a parallel between poor people and rich people, where the poor people are shown as women and rich are shown as the men. But it was just interesting to see that, and that it didn't show the actual death when they marched during the 2 month break after they take Bastille. A great video to watch on the March of Women was a video called French Revolution Women's March by Kevin Beeman. It's interesting, and it's about 3 minutes in length, so it's really short, but it goes into a lot of good detail on the fight that they had on that march. I also really like the dream sequence they did with the past kings, where um, King Louis is fleeing from Paris to Veronese. It was a great turning point in the French Revolution because it showed he was trying to escape from, like, almost his guilt. While in this movie, it shows it was a dream sequence for him to start a war from his past, calling him cowards, calling him. They were even questioning, like, what a veto was. It was just really interesting to see how the movie showed what he wanted to do and, like, how he wanted to escape it. This is also shown in that women in the video I just said. It shows it straight at the end where they talk about how the mob had pushed him into escaping, and once they got him to Paris, it was up to the people, not just him being protected. Everyone decided what, like, they should have done with him. But I think one of the most important inaccuracies throughout the movie, because we follow the citizens, is the difference between what each citizen did. While as, like, they were separated in factions, it was how people, like, were active in the war, and some, like, merely chose not to fight, I guess, merely, like, not to put themselves in with the group, or just not really, they relied on the king's decisions and what other people's decisions, while other people were they like told people you can tell people in the future, you can tell your grandchildren in the future that you were there on the day that the Bastille fell or when the execution of the king. And that was some of their main reasons to keep fighting and to keep trying to for the better of the French is to just be there and help and continue in the war effort to free the people. And that's why a lot of declarations were Declaration of the People, Declaration of um, the Citizens, I believe. But it was just really interesting to see how they showed that throughout the movie. Another very inaccurate scene is the Charles de Mons scene. So the Charles de Mons is where 50,000 people were gathered together and signed a piece of paper saying, "Hey, um, the king, we gotta get rid of the king. Like this is not good." And so when they were signing this, about 6,000 people actually wrote it down, and then they found two. The video I watched on this explained it as two mysterious people, and so the whole crowd expected, oh, these guys are like trying to get rid of the decree we're signing, so they hang them, and that was not shown at all in the movie. The movie just showed them as they were unarmed mob that just started getting shot at. But in actual history, the two people that were hanged, the French monarchy saw this as we have to send the National Guard there, and so they sent the National Guard there, and so the riots, it became more of a riot where the signing turned into aggression on both sides, and the mob started throwing like rocks at the National Guard, and so the National Guard fired upon the group. And the movie says somewhere, I don't know where specifically, but 400 people died. That number is a heavy estimate. It's the video also says that it was about 25 to 50 people, which just seems a lot more um accurate. The video I'm talking about is titled "The Unseen Story of Champ de Mars Massacre," and it's by Forgotten Legends Unveiled. Very good video. But yeah, I'm trying to keep this in between 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm a little bit over. I'm sorry for that. Maybe the gameplay is gonna make up for that. But yeah, all in all, the movie gets the point across very well. I've never really been interested in the French Revolution, but I'm gonna be honest, this unit and especially the movie really helped me understand some things I didn't really understand for the past. But besides that, I think it's pretty accurate. Some of the things were exaggerated or under exaggerated, but it really helps get the point across. So, thank you and have a good one.